beautiful peeps. Wow. Whoa. Wow. Hope this video turns out. Wow. Last one I did kind of cut off abruptly. I think that might have been on purpose by the Spirit. Because at the end of it, whoa. It was just giving a nod to the stillness. The stillness speaks. Whoa. So, wow. Just an encouragement to all of us to remember to find that secret place, that secret space, that stillness. Spend time with Papa. Let the Spirit lead you, guide you, take you into His alone time and teach you and love on you. Wow. 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 Yeah. That's what we did last time. Holy God. Wow. Hear the silence. I wanted to finish a thought from, when I started the last video I did. God speaks to me in words. He uses words. He speaks my language. God is infinite. So one revelation is that God is so infinite that He can speak your language. God speaks Lynn. He speaks to me in such intimate, personal ways that He literally makes me feel as if I'm the only one. And He has that ability because He's infinite. So God speaks to me in words, and He uses words to enlighten me. And so, whoa, I've had the pleasure of exploring, spending time, in His presence, and He gives me revelation on words, individual words. Words like faith, words like righteousness, words like knowledge. All these words for me have become so much bigger and deeper. Wow, more than anything I ever imagined before. So part of my purpose, I guess, is to expound on these words. My part of the body is to play a part that helps us understand some of these words that we toss around like cliches. Wow, we don't really know. I didn't know. So I'm just sharing with you what I know. Wow. So one of the words I wanted to talk about today was worth. We touched on that a little bit last time. God's been speaking to me about our identity and our value. Each of us is looking for our worth. You know, we have these basic fundamental questions like, why am I here? What is my purpose? Ultimately, we're looking for what is our value. You know, where's our place in this world? What are we worth? And God spoke to me one time and He said, Lynn, you cannot compare yourself with anything. We as humans love to compare ourselves with other people. And it's kind of an impossible thing to do because we're all equal. We're just comparing ourselves with one another. Paul said if we're comparing ourselves with one another, we don't yet understand the gospel. So the gospel is, and Papa says, we're made in His image. Scripture says we're made in His image. And so if you want to compare yourselves with anything or anyone, there's only one that we can compare ourselves to, and that's God Himself. So He told me one time that everything is relative. Everything is relative. By comparison, all the earthly things are relative to one another. There is no real definitive measure except as it is measured against another thing. But God said everything is relative, and everything is relative, but all things are relative to God. So everything is relative except God, but all things are relative to God. So if we're looking for measure, if we're looking for value, comparable value, definition, if we're looking for our definition to answer that question, who am I? Why am I here? for me, that's the answer. The answer is that we're born from above. We are bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. We're made in his image and likeness. His spirit is breathed into us. We have life because he is life. His breath is in our lungs. We breathe involuntarily. Our heart beats involuntarily because there's an energy of life that gives us life. And so that's God. That's who God is. He is our Father. He is the origin of our source. And he is the determiner of our being. We are who he says we are. And I love the analogy of seeing ourselves as a little child, because as a child of his, we're born of him. We're born, from his DNA. We have his nature. We've been given a divine nature. And so as a child, our worth is determined by who our father, our mother, our parent says we are. Any of us that have children know that you couldn't put a price tag on one of our kids. So seeing ourselves like he sees us is to me the ultimate revelation of our being. He opens our eyes to see as he sees. We become parents. We begin to understand, wow, how my parents loved me. Wow, and we begin to hopefully understand how the God of the universe sees us as being born, conceived of him. And so that gives us definition. That's our identity. Our worth is immeasurable. If we're infinite, eternal beings, which we are in the essence of our being, there is no measure. It cannot be defined. You can't put a label on it. You can't put it in a box. It can't be contained as far as your value is immeasurable, because there's only one to measure it against, and that's him. Whoa, so we're talking about the word worth. We're talking about identity. We're talking about your value today. Whoa. So I just felt inspired to share that with you. Whoa. You know, the fruit of the knowledge of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, has led us into all of these different things, the judgments that we make. Whoa, the belief that we have the capacity to discern good and evil. We have the capacity to comprehend or compare ourselves. We're trying to measure ourselves against ourselves. And that's where we get into trouble. That's where we fall short of because we simply don't understand the truth of our being yet. We need a revelation on the essence of our being and of our identity. And that will set us free as we begin to see as he sees. And then we begin to realize, whoa, that's who I am. And that's who they are. There's no longer us and them. There's only we, because we're all then now brothers and sisters. We're all family, born from above. Wow, I'm no better than they are. I'm no worse than they are. I'm equal in value to the one that matters. And I have the opinion of my Father who defines me and who gives me my worth, who persuades me of my value to him. So I just want to encourage you today with that. Don't compare yourselves with one another, but be compared to the God of the universe, your Father, the one who knows you, the one who knows you better than we know ourselves. Listen to that voice. Hear that. Wow. Let that still small voice whisper in your ear how much I love you. I love you. He loves us. And we're one with him. We're one mind. We're one spirit. We're the body of his Christ. Wow. So, I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye-bye.